Hey there, everybody. I want to welcome you to a new thing with Cyndi, where we are on the lookout for the new thing. Isaiah 43 says, behold, I will do a new thing. God wants to do a new thing. So we are on the lookout for the new thing that he wants to do in each and every one of our lives. My name is Cyndi Galley, and I'm the host of this talk show, podcast, or both combined. Either way, I'm so glad that you're here. We have a really wonderful, inspiring show for you lined up tonight. I'm so excited about tonight's guest. She is a powerhouse. She's making waves, and she's a way maker. And I'm so excited. I believe she's going to stir you up. She's going to share some things that, you know what, we really need to talk about these things, and we need to hear about these things. Sometimes we hear things and we feel a little bit uncomfortable. And so what do? Sometimes we just sweep it under the rug and we just pretend that it's not there. We pretend that we don't see or hear. And here's the thing, guys, we cannot do that. We are called to be people who speak out, that we advocate for people and individuals and communities and groups when we see things happening that ought not be. And so I'm excited to bring you tonight's guest. I actually had the honor and privilege of being a part of an organization that honored her earlier this year at She Leads California. She was honored. And so I'm going to bring her out right now. But before I do, let me tell you, it is a whole lot easier to be the majority, right? It's just so easy just to do what everybody else is saying. In fact, many can be and many are. But to be a person who swims against the school of think, act, and say as everyone else is doing, that takes courage. Takes fortitude, it takes strength. And that is exactly what today's guest has and what she is. And so she's here to talk with us about her fight to help keep children safe. I love that. That's something very near and dear to my heart. Would you please help me welcome Brenda Lebsack? Brenda, hello.
Hello. Good to be here. Thank you, Cyndi.
Oh my goodness. Yes, it's so good to have you. It's an honor. You're doing some things right now. And so I really want to thank you. I know that you're running for office and you have a whole lot of other things you could be doing. So I really appreciate you taking out some time just to share with us what's very near and dear to your heart, children.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I know that you're running right now for school board, and congratulations for the Santa Ana Unified School District. And, I know that you've worn many hats in the past, one of them being a pastor. And, as I was just, prepping, and as we were celebrating and honoring you even earlier this year, I was like, oh my goodness, Brenda Lebsack, she's amazing. You hear of names kind of through the months or through the years, but when I really just took a good hard look at what it is that you do and who it is that you stand for, you have your organization, Brenda for Kids, and you say this statement that it's there to pull back the curtain on what's really going on in public education. Talk to us a little bit about this. Some people don't know what's going on in public education, and there may have even been a point where you didn't really know what was going on in public education. What is it that inspired you to be doing what you're doing right now?
Thank you, Cyndi. Well, first of all, I've been a teacher since 1990, so a long time in public education. I may have taken some years off, raising our kids, but I became a school board member for Orange Unified in 2016 to 2020. So for 4 years, my eyes started getting opened during that time, but actually a little bit before that time, because I felt the Lord showed me, wow, I've been a teacher for a long time. My kids were out of the house, and I thought, Lord, what's next? I'm kind of this empty nest season. And I felt that the Lord showed me, you need to get involved in your teachers union. And, I never thought about that because I was always involved in church ministry. And so I thought, yeah, okay. So I went online to find out what conferences they offered. And I saw that most of their conferences really had nothing to do with academics. It had to do with LGBT advocacy, human rights, social justice. So I just went to the first one, which was the LGBT conference. And that was back in 2015. And when I did, I heard what shocked me, basically hate speech towards Christians, hate speech towards people of faith. And I was in shock. of the
Wow.
things that I was hearing. And that's when my eyes started getting opened, saying, wow, there's a hostility towards people of faith. And it's coming down the pike, and it's going to be in our classrooms, and it's
Mm.
be reflected in our curriculum. And
Wow.
so when I became a school board member and I saw some of these laws being passed, 8329, the California Healthy Youth Act, I started looking because I used to be an English teacher. Then I became a PE teacher for kids with special needs. So because of that, I was teaching in like 7 different schools. I was traveling to different schools. So I was able to see a lot compared to just a teacher who's in one classroom all day long. And so when I started looking, we have something called a framework that becomes the blueprint for curriculum and editors that create curriculum for the school districts of the state. And as a PE teacher, I looked at the health framework, and I saw things I had never seen before in the health framework, such as it had a description of how we were supposed to teach LGBT issues, and it called gender and sexuality. They said LGBTQIA plus. And it said that genders were to be taught as ever expansive and ever evolving.
Oh, wow.
That sexuality was ever expansive and ever evolving. So they had a 60-day input process where you could give, input before the State Board of Education voted on this so that it would become cement. And so I went and made input and said, could you please add a line that would exempt pedophilia and minor attracted persons MAP as a future evolving sexuality?
Wow.
And they refused to do it.
What? Oh my goodness.
They
Wow.
refused. I asked more than once. This same paragraph is also in our ethnic studies model. It's in our framework for ethnic studies. And I asked them again, please add one sentence exempting pedophilia as a future sexual orientation, and they refused to do it.
Wow.
To me, that made it very clear.
Yes.
What the agenda is, because we have a sex education framework, we have a standards, and I saw that under sexual consent, and I can send this document to you, I found this in 2018, and it said under sexual consent that sexual consent should be considered a fundamental right for people of all ages.
Oh my goodness.
I will send that document to you. So
wow.
There's some really serious things and red flags here. I can tell you some stories, Cyndi, as a teacher. And I think one thing is, we had the COVID, we had the lockdown, right? Well, before the lockdown, I saw going into all of the student bathrooms in my school district. Keep in mind, in my school district, okay, I am not far from Disneyland. Santa Ana is right next to Anaheim. And we had these, my city is considered the highest immigrant non-English speaking district for Hispanics. Okay, in Orange County. And we had in all of our bathrooms these metallic posters, and it was the National Suicide Hotline, the Trevor Project, which is considered an LGBTQ suicide hotline, and then an anti-bully hotline. Okay. This went in every single student bathroom on eye level of a 5-year-old. Okay. Wow. So I went to my principals and I said, hey, just curious, like, when did this go into our bathrooms? Like, I just started noticing it. And the principals are like, oh, we didn't even know it went in there. It must have been just a board decision, and they got put in and we didn't know about it. I'm like, wow. Okay. And then we had the lockdown, right? Well, when we came back into session after the lockdown, I saw that we had a lot of new books in our libraries, and that there was a whole bunch of books. There was like a purging going on. a whole bunch of books were being taken out of our libraries, and then a whole bunch of books were coming into our libraries. Okay. And then I started seeing these books. Let me show you some. These were for kindergartners. What are your words? So it has in here all these pronouns.
Oh, wow.
A lot of pronouns.
Wow.
And then this page says, my pronouns are like the weather. They change based on my feelings.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And
wow.
then a little boy here today, he's dressed as a girl. Tomorrow he's something else. And then he's dressed as a boy. So it's showing you gender fluidity, that it can change day to day. Here's another one. It feels good to be yourself. This is not only in my schools, it's across the state and it's across the nation.
Wow.
It's also in our public libraries. I went to Texas and I saw these in Texas public libraries. This page here, let's see here. I don't know if you can see it, but let me read it to you.
Okay.
It says, you might feel like a boy, you might feel like a girl. Notice how they use the word feel over and over. Feel. You might feel like both boy and girl, or like neither. You might feel like your gender changes from day to day or from year to year.
Wow.
Right. So when I read these books, and then because I'm part of the teachers union also, I know that the teachers union, I'm having a hard time. The teachers union partners with the Human Rights Campaign called Welcoming Schools. And this is a preschool book telling kids about different pronouns. And we've got pronouns here telling kids that they can use the pronoun of tree or Z.
Wow.
It tells them, let me read it to you. It says, you can change your pronouns from he to she to he, or you can use new ones like Z, or create your own like tree. Some people use they, which is the perfect way. There are many more pronouns waiting to be discovered and used. So I'm looking at these books for 3 to 6, 7-year-olds. And I'm like, this is creating confusion.
Yeah.
It confuses me as an adult. What's it going to do to a 5-year-old?
Yes, exactly.
And so what I did is I saw the National Suicide Hotline, which is 988. And I thought, okay, this could create a mental crisis. So I'm going to check this out. I texted the National Suicide Hotline. I said, I'm unsure of my gender. I'm scared about puberty. What should I do? First, they made sure I wasn't going to commit suicide or hurt myself. But then they sent me, and I wouldn't give them my age. They asked me, but I didn't give it to them. They just knew that I hadn't started puberty yet, right? Mm-hmm. And then they said I should go to the Trevor Project, Trevor Space, so that it's a safe place to explore my gender.
And this is in conjunction with the suicide hotline.
They texted it to me on my cell phone.
Wow.
And then after I got off the phone with them, they sent me a survey. And this survey gave me 11 genders to choose from. 11. Or I could choose my own. Now, this is all on my website, brenda4kids.com, the number 4, brenda4kids.com. Mm-hmm. And you can see the screenshots of all these genders. Or I could make up my own. So this is telling me that our crisis suicide hotlines are being used as a tool to indoctrinate.
Yes.
To normalize all these genders.
Wow.
Then I followed whatever they told me to do. I did it. I went to trevorspace.org. And Cyndi, I would encourage you to do this yourself. I would encourage you to do what I did so you can see this with your own eyes. It's still there.
Wow.
Okay. I went to trevorspace.org. I made up an email and I put down that I put a date of birth that I was 13 years old. Because Trevor Space says that you have to be between 13 to 24 years old to use it. So to my mind, I'm thinking they're already mixing minors with adults,
Exactly.
right?
You wouldn't even do that in a regular community setting. It's a little awkward, let alone, no, there's no need for that. There's no purpose for that.
Well, I'm in my 50s and I got in seconds. So that tells me that pretty much anyone can get in. I am a random, unvetted adult.
Yep.
That got full access to all these kids on an international platform, virtual platform. So I would encourage you, on my website, I took screenshots. Now, I didn't converse with whoever was in these chat spaces, but the chat spaces I saw were the Witchcraft Club, the Furries Club, if you identify as an animal, the Non-Binaries Club, the Chosen Family. We will be your new mom and dad or brother and sisters if your parents don't go along with this. That's what cults do.
Wow.
There was the regressor space, meaning age identity.
Wow.
There was the Gay Men's Club, and their tagline was, "Let's talk about boys." They're not hiding this.
Right.
It's not. One of the chat clubs was Guilt and Secrets Club. Share all your guilt and secrets. Now, because these are being offered through our schools, you will see the 988 hotline and Trevor Project everywhere. In fact, I mean, it's in the veterans facilities, it's in the social service facilities, it's everywhere. It's on billboards. Okay. But this is what's going on.
Wow. So this is everywhere. However, it's supposed to be only for individuals between the ages of 13 and 24, yet it's being promoted everywhere for individuals that are 50, 60, 70 years old.
Trevorspace.org. I don't know if it's being promoted everywhere. Trevor Project is promoted everywhere. I mean, it's in our colleges, it's all over. And the 988 hotline uses it as a reference. And we have so many different health hotlines. In fact, we have this teenline.org, and I tried that one out too. It's teens counseling teens.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. So I asked them, I always do by text because I don't sound like a kid. But they do this between the times of 6 to 9 p.m. And I asked them, should I share my cell phone number on Trevor Space because I'm really lonely and I need friends? And their advice to me was build trust first and then share your cell number.
Wow.
And I screenshot all of this.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, that is terrible advice.
That's awful.
So really, our kids can be set up for kidnapping. Now, I'm going to say, like, I do make this very shocking statement, and I have reason to believe that our schools are being used as a pipeline to human trafficking.
Wow.
Because of Trevor Space, but not only that, I had another experience, Cyndi, and I'm sorry to be on a monologue here.
No,
break in whenever you want. Okay, break in. Last year, in one of my elementary schools, we had the public library come and they have a bookmobile, and they bring this mobile library to our school. So on my break, on the playground, they had, these bookshelves, portable bookshelves, and I started perusing, and I saw some books that were labeled young adult. And I'm like, why are young adult books on an elementary playground?
Right.
So I checked one out. This is the book I checked out. This book is gay.
Oh.
And you can see the evidence here that it says Santa Ana Public Library Bookmobile. I don't know if you can see that.
I can.
Okay. Well, I didn't return it, obviously. But I want to show you, besides them teaching kids how to provide sexual favors in detail, they also, on page hold on. Oh my goodness, I need my glasses. 182.
I'm wearing mine.
Okay. You will see here, right here, it says how to use sex apps. These are adult sex apps.
Wow. And this is on a children's playground.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. My heart just sank.
Yes. This book is throughout California and throughout our nation. Why do I know that? Because it is being recommended through the Teachers Union. The Teachers Union, the National Educators Association. We have something called banned books. This was one of the banned books. And they said, oh, you shouldn't censor books. That's homophobia. So this sex app, this is how let me describe to you how they're telling kids how to use it. The app is called Grindr. Upload a tiny picture of yourself to the app. The app works out your location.
Oh, wow.
The app tells you who the nearest homosexuals are. You chat with them because they're near. It's easy to meet up with them.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. This is awful.
This is in our schools. I turned it in and I went to our public library and asked the director, why are you putting this in our schools?
Right.
And what he told me is he said, I'm getting pressured by politicians. He wouldn't give me the names. But I mean, I just think there's pedophile rings. I think something is going on the up and up. And I'm just praying every day, Cyndi, that God will just break it open, expose it. A lot of things are getting exposed on a national level.
Yes.
And our schools are being used for very horrific things.
And they know, while some may know, probably a majority of teachers probably don't even realize because they're not picking up the books. They're not opening them up. They're not reading them and finding out this information, such as you yourself just read to us.
They're not.
This is awful. You know,
They're
I
not.
mean,
And
even
they
in a
listen to the
college
lies.
setting, that's still
Yeah.
scary, but come on. Wow. I'm sorry. Okay.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
go
that's
ahead.
it. That's it.
Sorry. It was interesting actually last night. I went to a meeting where this public librarian came and spoke to our community about the bookmobile. So I showed up and I asked the librarian, I said, tell me, how do you define adult? I would assume it's 18 and over. They said, yes. I said, so I would assume the word young adult is defined as an 18 to 24-year-old. Is that how you're defining it? They said, no, our definition is 12 and up.
For a young adult?
Yes.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
So basically, like this bookmobile, I asked the librarian, I said, so it looks like the bookmobile is for kids because you have a cartoon astronaut on the outside of it. You have coloring books and Play-Doh and all these games to attract children to the bookmobile. But really, you're saying that the bookmobile is for children and adults. And you're defining young adult material as 12 and up. So basically, the young adult stuff is total pornographic.
Yes.
It's X-rated. Yeah. And now they're saying that's appropriate for 12-year-olds. Even though I found it on my elementary campus, which is 5 to 11-year-olds.
Wow. Yeah. And talk about alluring, you know, especially at that age. I feel like there's so much questioning anyway, you know, like you're little, you're young. It's like you're inquisitive, all of these little questions or things you're seeing or things you're hearing, especially now. I feel like kids are just exposed to so much more than even say, 30, 40 years ago, and so it's heartbreaking to see this and to hear this. And I'm so thankful that you're really doing the homework and you're investigating to the degree that you are, because these types of books do not belong in an elementary school or in a junior high or in a high school. That's to me, that's a whole other, what you just read to me, that's a whole other age group. And it's not anything really that has the teen in the name or younger,
Right. But a law was passed by Newsom in, I'm trying to remember the year, not long ago, called AB 1078, which said there's no censorship of books in our schools. So we're having a very difficult time to get any of these books out. There's X-rated books. And I would refer people to, there's a lot of great websites that show you the content of these books. Table Advocate. Oh no, now I'm forgetting the names of the websites. Okay, it's going to come to me.
It's okay.
I can't remember the websites right now.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
How, while you're thinking about it, how can parents get involved or protect? What do parents need to do to protect their kids or to fight back on, the kind of things that we're hearing right now? And I know originally I was thinking it would be great to even talk with you a little bit about gender dysphoria, because I know that is also something that's very big and prominent right now. And when I came across your website, I saw that you yourself had said, yeah, when I was younger, gender dysphoria here. It's like you cannot put your kids in a box just because they're wearing a certain thing or they want their hair a certain way. It's like, again, I think it was a conversation you and I had earlier. And I was just saying, I don't understand, where is science in all this? Where's medicine? Where are the experts in all of this? I'm a creative. I'm totally a creative. And yet I remember learning and reading or hearing that my medulla, whatever it's called, is not even fully developed until my mid to late 20s, right? And so like one year I'm all into Diet Coke, the next year, oh, I hate Diet Coke, I love Dr. Pepper. And then the next year, oh, I don't even like but I like Diet Dr. Pepper. I mean, you're changing your mind. You don't even know who you are and what you like. Anyway, I don't like red. Oh, I love pink. Oh, I don't like pink anymore. Why would we think it is okay to push all these pronouns, all this confusion, all of these different names? Oh, say you're a tree, say you're an animal, say you're really 8 years old when you're really 18. I mean, it makes no sense, but it's, to me, I see clearly a non-medical person, the confusion that it's causing these kids. And it is absolutely heartbreaking. And I'm saying, where are the parents in this to protect and to shepherd and to guard their kids and really helping them raise up who they're supposed to be? Where is that? And how can parents protect their kids? I mean, do you have any insight on that? Because I'm beside myself at hearing all this. My stomach keeps dropping, and it's very heartbreaking to me. And praise God for prayer and people that pray, but we also do need to take action in the physical, which is what you're doing. You're doing something about it. How can parents join in this band of protecting their kids, Brenda?
Well, that's why our public schools are on radical decrease of attendance. Mm-hmm. It is the Titanic right now. Mm-hmm. Wow. Parents are pulling their kids out left and right because of the indoctrination and the sexualization that's going on, mm-hmm. the betrayal of trust. Mm-hmm. I mean, in California, kids can change their gender behind parents' backs. They have identity support plans. And I've seen it happen. And it includes kids with autism. It doesn't matter their age. It doesn't matter if they're in special education. Mm-hmm. It's being done. Yeah. And so, yes, parents are pulling their kids out. Because I know they're trying to fight. They've been shut down. They've been called domestic terrorists, for heaven's sakes.
For being parents.
Demonizing people who, and it's just a lie, that I'm being demonized. I call this out and they either say, oh, no, I'm lying. I said, how can you call me a liar when I'm an insider and I see it with my own eyes?
Right.
I'm insider of the union. I'm insider of the schools. And I'm an insider as a former school board member. I am an insider. Yeah. When you mentioned gender dysphoria, I just want to show you the back of this book here. Look what's over this kid's head.
Yes. Yes.
So it's a question mark.
Yeah.
Because it's being created. Gender dysphoria isn't just happening. And when I was a kid as a tomboy, I can't really say that I had dysphoria. Okay. because I never doubted I was a girl.
Sure.
I just knew that I would fantasize about being a boy. I would fantasize about it because Pinocchio became a real boy, right? And you watch these shows and you think, wow, I wanted to be a boy because I thought boys had more fun, but I never doubted that I was a girl because no one ever affirmed to me or said to me or maybe questioned that I wasn't a girl, right? But I think girls are more susceptible with these ideologies coming in because, I mean, when I was 9 years old and somebody told me about puberty and what's in my future, I was horrified.
What? Every month?
And I had an older sister, who
I don't even like blood here,
Right?
Like,
of course.
Yeah.
So it's like, you mean all I have to do is like take a pill and make it go away? Well, give it to me.
Yeah.
It's wrong. And I think also, at least in my town, Orange County, I know in LA Unified, I know in San Diego, I'm sure in San Francisco and so forth, but our schools through the wellness centers are partnering with the children's hospitals. And the children's hospitals, such as Chalk, has a gender clinic. But parents aren't being told that these children's hospitals have gender clinics and that they affirm all of these genders.
Wow.
So, I have emails from my Chalk Hospital because they came in wanting to have a partnership with Orange Unified in 2019. So I did my due diligence to check it out to see, well, free? Why do you want to give free mental health services? Like, there's got to be strings attached, right?
Sure. Right.
And so I found out they had a gender clinic back then. And I had an email conversation with the head endocrinologist, found out that they were giving puberty blockers to 9-year-olds and socially transitioning 5-year-olds.
5 years old?
Socially transitioning, not medically, but socially. And then they're not doing surgeries, but they are resourcing that out.
Right.
To other clinics.
And now we're wondering, though, why all of the mental health issues are so, the emotional status and the mental state of our youth is horrific, and it's so heartbreaking. And I know so little about what you're talking about because I'm like, is it the money? Like, what is it? I don't understand. What's pushing this agenda so aggressively, and deceptively? It's just,
It's all, if you Google climate change websites, you'll see in any like social justice, Black Lives Matter, they're all intertwined. They're intertwined. And the climate changers truly believe that, our planet is diseased. I'm not going to say that there's not some truth in those things.
Sure.
Okay,
even the word tells us that there will be groanings and, absolutely.
Yes. But they believe that our population is what's destroying the planet. And so the answer to that is to depopulate. And how are you going to depopulate besides abortions? Well, how do we do it in the animal kingdom? We sterilize. So when you're giving boys estrogen and girls testosterone, you're sterilizing them.
Right.
And the sooner the better. They want to get it before the kids hit puberty. Because what's happening is when the kids are doing it after puberty, a lot of times there's huge regrets. And so they want to detransition. And that they are really stifling the testimonials of all those kids and the lawsuits against Kaiser, against some of our hospitals, of these kids that maybe got double mastectomies and now are saying, I don't want this. I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
I have huge regrets and now I've got lifelong medical problems.
Yeah.
Right. But they are being hushed and demonized, and you will not see the mainstream media giving their testimonials.
Wow. Well, this has been also very eye-opening, and I feel like we need to like even have a part two. I'm so thankful that you entered this world of all that you're finding out, originally starting off as a public school teacher, and thank the Lord that you were a part of the school board. And I feel like it's just been foundational for you being even where you are right now. And I just thank you and I applaud you, Brenda. I know this cannot be an easy anything, but when you're I don't know if you're the only advocate or the only voice, I don't know, but being one of the few of the minority for sure, not only in your school district, not only in your county, but in the state of California. I get all the newsletters and the updates of these different bills that are coming through, and I just keep going, I don't even get it. I don't understand this. Why is this even something that's being pushed? Because it almost always is going to be something that really drastically impacts the lives of kids and not in a good way, So
Yes,
what can
and
we do? I know you're running for school board, for those of us that are listening and we're saying, no, this can't be, I want you to give ear, please look for Brenda's name on the ballot. Would it only be in Orange County, Brenda, that your name would be on there? I don't know how that works with state elections and school board.
School board, actually, I'm only a section of Santa Ana.
Okay.
I'm not on that. There's 30,000 people in my section of Santa Ana that vote for me.
Okay.
But I've been actually doing pretty good as far as I thought I was going to get filled with, bashing and harassment. That hasn't happened, maybe because I'm a union member. So it's harder for them to bash one of their own. Sure. And I purposefully stayed a member because of that, because our union is definitely part of this really bad agenda to hurt kids. But most teachers are unaware because they just know that they're helping me get my raise and they're helping me with my benefits. So they don't want to get their head out of the sand and see what the political side is, unfortunately. And Cyndi, I look at that because sometimes I get frustrated with my colleagues because I'm like, you guys, our profession's getting hijacked. We are being used for things we didn't sign up to be about.
Right.
And you need to stand up and revolt and do something about it. But a lot of them are just afraid of confrontation.
Yeah. They don't want to rock the boat.
That's frustrating.
Sure.
And it really, the scripture that says the love of money is the root of all evil. That is really true. It's not money that's the root of evil. It's the love of money.
Yes. Yes.
And that can even be our own salaries.
Yes. Wow. Well, this is something, and it's a lot. I know it is a lot for us to digest. For those of you maybe not even in California or in Orange County, I would just encourage you, if there's anything that Brenda's sharing that's resonating, do your due diligence. I just think we're at the point where we cannot just keep our head buried in the sand and act like there's nothing going on. We really do have to protect our kids. We need to be talking about things and make people aware of these issues and things that are happening. And so I'm so thankful that you would come on here and just share the things that you have found, that you have discovered, and really just making us more aware in ways that we can protect these kids. We need to protect these kids.
Yes.
You wouldn't, if a kid was standing in the middle of a street and you see a car coming, 50 miles per hour, you're not just going to stand there and watch this kid get hit by a car. You're going to grab that kid and put your life on the line and say, get out of the way, and push that kid to safety. Like, people, come on, wake up, open your eyes. This is real. This is not something that like, oh no, one day. No, it's happening now. And Brenda's showing us these horrible books that are on campuses of these little precious babies that have no business having these books anywhere in their vicinity. And so, is there anything else that you want to end and leave us with, Brenda? And I hate that we're even wrapping up now, but I know it needs to be done.
I know. I do want to give a shout out to Pacific Justice Institute, the law firm.
Okay.
Because I took this Trevor Space information to them, And they wrote a letter to my district of liability risks that they're being put under because of it. And due to that, my school district removed those metallic posters out of every school bathroom.
Wow, there you
in
go.
the entire district. That's 60 schools.
Wow.
Now, the 988 number is still in the wellness centers and things like that. But still, that was a win.
Mm-hmm.
And I do want to say also, I reached out to the organization called Gays Against Groomers.
Mm.
And they did their own investigation on Trevor Space. And they wrote an article. They found even more insidious things than I did.
Wow.
And they wrote an article called "A Trevor Space is a Pedophile's Paradise."
Wow.
And that's the gay community.
Yes.
Standing up to protect kids.
Yes. Yes. Because we all do have a responsibility to do that. And when, when your focus and your goal is to prey upon a child, then that is not anywhere that's not anywhere in your ability to do that, because your only focus is to prey upon this innocent child. So that was very, very smart, very wise. And people, let's wake up. And, we're just talking about protecting our kids. Let's protect our kids. And if you see something, report it, do your due diligence. Let's not just act like these things don't exist. I really feel like one of the only ways that we can ensure the emotional, mental well-being of our kids really is for us to start speaking and up and out and advocating for them. Otherwise, in 10 years from now, who knows what this is going to look like. But Brenda, thank you so much for coming on here and sharing all that you did. And I know that you have some videos we're going to end with, but for those of you in the Orange County area, in the Santa Ana School District area, voting, you've got a little bit over a week, actually a week from tomorrow. And so we want to be sure that you look for Brenda Lebsack, and would you help get her that position, help her get voted in for the school board for the Santa Ana Unified School District. Brenda, you are a gift. I love your courage and your strength, girl. Keep doing what you're doing. And thank you for blessing us, for being a part of a new thing with Cyndi. You're amazing. And it's no surprise why we honored you at She Leads California this year.
Thank you so much, Cyndi. It was an honor being on your show.
Thank you so much. And so everyone, we're going to leave you with these videos. Please do vote smart, vote safe. And we'll see you next week on A New Thing with Cyndi. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
California Teachers Association passed a business item in 2020 saying kids should have access to puberty blockers and hormone therapy without parent knowledge or consent. All employees were given these We Care t-shirts to promote the 988 National Suicide Hotline. But have people been told the 988 hotline normalizes over 11 genders? The 988 hotline was in student bathrooms. I texted the hotline and said, "I'm unsure of my gender and scared about puberty. What should I do?" The hotline surveyed me, giving me 11 plus genders to choose from. The genders given were agender, boy, man, gender fluid, gender queer, girl, woman, intersex, non-binary, trans masculine, trans feminine, two-spirit, or name your own. Our community and employees deserve the respect of being informed, because deception is not suicide prevention. Hi, my name is Brenda Lebsack. I'm a special education teacher running for Santa Ana School Board. I'm running because I believe parents deserve to know the truth. Our schools say they want to prevent suicide, so they give students suicide hotline numbers. However, the 988 National Suicide Hotline surveys kids, giving them 11 plus genders to choose from. When I saw books coming into our schools telling kindergartners that their gender could change day by day and year by year, I thought this could create a mental crisis. So I texted the hotline. I pretended to be a child in distress. This is when I found out that the We Care t-shirts given to all employees of SAUSD with the 988 National Suicide Hotline on those t-shirts that we wear to school every day promote these 11 plus genders to kids. My website, brenda4kids.com, will show you screenshots. Most agencies also promote the Trevor Project. This hotline tells kids to go into chat spaces. chat spaces that explore their genders and sexualities with unvetted random adults. This is dangerous, and it could lead to the sexual exploitation of innocent children. If you don't believe this, check it out for yourself. Our crisis hotlines are corrupt. Please vote for me, Brenda Lebsack, to help fight this corruption.
Hey, help us get the word out about our show. Subscribe today, right now, to A New Thing Live.